About 30 years ago, I learnt a secret formula from a very wise man, and I took it to heart and I remembered it easily because it's 7 S's. And these 7 S's are something that we can use to bring an abundance into our life in every area of our life. So stay with me. We're going to talk about the 7 S's that make a harvest. And the very first one, of course, is the soil. And I like to remember a hymn when I think of having soil in our life being soil that can produce a harvest. And that hymn says, "Give me a heart that's tender, true, a heart that's kind, a heart that's new, and let it be like thine, O Lord, in every deed and every word." There's all sorts of self-help stuff out there. There's books, there's videos, there's meditations, there's hypnosis, there's intuitive journaling and all these things. But it takes nothing to have a heart that is gentle, kind, true. It's a choice. And so that's the first S. The second S is it helps to have a spade. Because, if we don't turn the soil of our hearts, the soil of our lives, it gets hard and it gets stagnant. And so the second one we need in our life is a spade, whatever that happens to be for you, that keeps us thinking, keeps us motivated, keeps us open to new possibilities. The third thing we need, of course, is a seed. Now, this can be a goal. It can be something that we dream about. It can be that little spark of hope that we plant and we hold in our heart. And it's there because we expect it to grow and we expect it to become bigger in our life. I like to think of my seed as the divine, and to have that in my life that is going to become something bigger than I am. And it's going to be part of my life path, part of my journey. Of course, that's getting very deep. You might want to just make it a little goal that you want to have the seed of a healthy relationship, or the seed of a wonderful career, or the seed of a loving family, and we plant it in our hearts, and that's where it's going to grow into something bigger in our life. So we've got the soil, we've got the spade, we've got the seed. The next thing we need is a sower. And we can all be the sower in our own lives. We can sow the things in our lives that we really desire to have. And so the sower goes out in hope, the sower goes out in faith, the sower goes out with a positive attitude, the sower goes out with a smile on their face. And once again, this is something that costs nothing. It's just a choice. We've got the soil, we've got the seed, we've got the spade, we've got the sower. And the next thing we need is the sunshine. Those great times in life that put a spring in our step. We go places, we do things, we engage in life in a way that is going to bring sunshine to our seed. Maybe we decide to pick up a hobby, we decide to read a book that's going to be in alignment with where we're going. We sign up to a course, we meet friends of like mind, and maybe we do a little bit of weeding as well to make sure that the soil is staying healthy and well and cultivating what we want in life. Unfortunately, the next S isn't so nice. There's going to be storms. And the storms in life also are something that make us. There's a wonderful song that I have loved for years and years and years, and I actually put it on my list of beauty in song if you want to hear it and find it easily. It's by a band called the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. And those words say, if we ever want to see a rainbow, we've got to stand a little rain. And of course, we also know that without the rain, the seed doesn't grow. No amount of sunshine is going to be any good for us if we never have the rain. And so it's a balance, it's a yin and a yang in life, and it's to not become mired down in the mud when there's rain, but to rather just be sentinel to realise that this is an opportunity for the seed in our life to grow and to find the good things from it. And then the last one, the soil, the spade, the seed, the sower, the sunshine, the storms, is the seasons. And you know, there will be seasons of life when things are new and things are growing. There will be the autumn of life when things are slowing down. There's the spring when everything is alive, and there's the winter when things are coming to an end. And we can apply this to every situation. We can apply it to life, we can apply it to a situation, we can apply it to a goal. There are going to be times of change, and we need to embrace our times of change too. Now, from a physical point of view, I just wanted to share what a harvest can bring. And so this is from our garden at home. We have our dill pickles, which my husband makes, and I guarantee nobody's found dill pickles as good as my husband. But they didn't just magically jump into the bottle. There was a soil preparation, there was a seed that was planted, there was a harvest, and you know, those little plants were prickly. And I have to wear gloves to get in there and harvest those little dill pickles. There was the sunshine, there was the rain, and if there was no rain, we made it with a sprinkler. And we got the moisture into the soil. And of course, there was the season. We had the land fallow over winter. The spring came and the cultivation happened. The autumn, when we started harvesting those little cucumbers. And the winter, we will enjoy the harvest. I could go through it again and again, but here's my raspberry jam. We had a wonderful crop of raspberries this year, and also I put apple in the raspberry jam because we've got more apples than we can cope with. And here's the zucchini relish, which has all sorts of good stuff. We could peek in the freezer at the rhubarb and the apple and the peas and the beans, the corn. And we could peep in the cupboard at more of the same chutneys and relishes, jams, and the hope of our potatoes and carrots, which we store in sand, not the potatoes but the carrots, and the beets in sand in the garage, the potatoes in a cool spot that will last us all year. So I'll leave you with the end of that hymn. It says, take out the stony heart, take out the bitterness, give me a gracious heart that's full of tenderness, a heart that understands, that will not fret or pine. Give me a tender heart, a heart like thine. I hope our attitude is beautiful and we can cultivate the 7 things in our life that will make a harvest that we can be proud of and can edify us and feed our hearts. Have a great day.